we settled down and come out for the second round, and Lenny steamed in again. Cliff battered him back, and Lenny nutted Cliff, and Cliff turned him on the ropes and head butted him back and kneed him in the nuts, and then hit him with about half a dozen good right hands and knocked him out.
Hi everyone, I hope everyone's well. So I've got a special guest today. I'm here with my old friend Bill Cooper. Now Bill Cooper was a boxer, unlicensed boxer, very good friend with legendary fighter Cliff Fields. And Bill in fact married Cliff's auntie, knew Cliff from 1968. So Bill's got some amazing stories about Cliff. He was actually in the corner when Cliff fought and beat Lenny McLean on both occasions, weren't you, on both?
That's correct. Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going to pass you over to Bill.
Yeah, I met Cliff in 1968 and married his auntie Maureen, and as soon as he knew I was interested in boxing, he got me straight down the gym. He came out of the Navy and turned pro, and I was with him throughout his professional boxing career.
You used to spar with him as well, didn't you? So you knew him from the amateurs all the way through.
Yeah, we used to do a couple of rounds every night, and 6 nights a week, 6 weeks for every fight. And I worked out I must have sparred over 1,500 rounds with Cliff.
1,500, yeah. And he was a lot bigger, wasn't he? You were a welterweight as a fighter.
Yeah, I was a welterweight, but he took it easy with me.
yeah. He had a big punch on him, Cliff, didn't he?
He had a good right hand, yeah.
Yeah.
Very good right hand, yeah.
Now, who was it that said that he was the hardest puncher that he'd ever took on the pads?
That was an American trainer called Ted McWhorter. He used to train George Chavallo, and another boxer called Sonny Banks. And Sonny Banks was the first boxer to knock Muhammad Ali down, and he said Cliff had a harder punch as he did. Yeah. He weren't a great boxer, but he could have a fight.
Because I mean, like you said, he didn't really worry about defence too much, did he? He knew he could take a shot.
Yeah. Never got knocked down in his career.
Never,
no.
And he went in with some big punches. Obviously, the big fight in the unlicensed game that everyone talks about, well, the big fights were the 2 wins against Lenny McLean. And you were there at the corner man for both.
Yeah, I was with him all the time. Yeah.
So can you tell us what happened in the Lenny McLean fights? Because I know there was a bit of dirty tactics going on and stuff.
Yeah, well, it was unlicensed, wasn't it? So you get away with the odd headbutt and that. And yeah, Lenny came out in the first round and just steamed into Cliff left and right, very fast hands. Cliff just covered up and took him for about a minute, and then he started opening up himself with right hands. Lenny looked a bit shocked when he started taking them, and after 2 minutes, one of Lenny's cornermen rang the bell and stopped the bout early. We had a big row about that, but we settled down and come out for the second round, and Lenny steamed in again. Cliff battered him back, and Lenny nutted Cliff, and Cliff turned him on the ropes and head butted him back and kneed him in the nuts, and then hit him with about half a dozen good right hands and knocked him out.
On the canvas.
Dragged him over to our corner and just rolled him out of the ring.
Is that what?
Yeah. And that picture of that in the Islington Gazette the next day.
Oh, that was in the newspaper, was it?
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, do you know, was it filmed?
No.
It wasn't filmed? Because people say that the fights were filmed, but the tapes were lost.
Not Lenny's fights. Not Cliff and Lenny's fights. I don't think they were ever filmed.
Oh, right. But that was in the Gazette, a picture of the...
Lenny laying outside the ring, yeah.
Was in the Gazette. I wonder where that's disappeared to.
I think it was the 5th December 1978.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a copy, but I lost it.
So that was the first fight?
Yeah.
What happened in the second fight?
Second fight, similar thing, but it went a bit longer. Lenny didn't come in so quick. He tried to box Cliff, but Cliff caught him up in the 6th round. Just hit him. He must have hit him about 12 times non-stop with right hand. He just crumbled in the end and knocked him out. Yeah.
So Lenny could take a punch as well then?
Yeah, he's big lump. Yeah.
Lenny could take
bloke, yeah.
And he had very fast hands, didn't he?
Yeah, very fast. Yeah. But Cliff didn't bother Cliff. Cliff took it.
Yeah. I think the thing is, because Lenny didn't have any amateur experience or even pro experience, he did well really to be fighting against these ex-pros. Really.
He took a lot of people on. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to
give. He'd have a go. Yeah.
Yeah. So he deserves his credit for taking on
Oh, yeah.
ex-pros and
Yeah.
good amateurs and stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Bill. So we know that Cliff was obviously professional, good unlicensed fighter, but you would say he was a better cobble fighter than he was a boxer.
Oh yeah, I should imagine so. Yeah, he could take a fight, and he'd like to get stuck in. You know, get his right hand going.
Yeah.
But yeah, he'd have been British champion 200 years ago.
Yeah. He was a better bare knuckle fighter, and he was fearless. He'd fight anyone, wouldn't he?
Yeah, yeah, didn't care about anybody.
So him against Lenny on the cobbles would have been another good fight. And you think Cliff?
Yeah, I think Cliff would have beat anybody on the cobbles. Yeah.
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 He was that big, that strong, and
Strong, fearless. Yeah.
tough
Yeah.
chin.
Yeah.
Yeah. So even though they fought twice, Cliff was friends with Lenny, wasn't he? And they used to go out.
Yeah, they went out for a drink together, and I think they'd done a bit of debt collecting together. And they'd often
Imagine them two knocking on your door.
they'd have a pint together, and when they'd had a drink, Lenny would do his party piece and rip his shirt off and show his muscles and shout, "I'm the hardest man in London, except him."
And point to Cliff.
Yeah.
So he had a lot of respect for Cliff, Lenny did.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And vice versa. Cliff obviously respected Lenny, yeah.
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 They got on okay.
Lovely. So alongside with the boxing, Cliff was doing debt collecting, and shout out to Ray Hill, by the way, because Ray used to do a lot with Cliff, and you remember Ray, don't you? From
Yeah, right. Yeah.
yeah,
The box on the bill. Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah.
So shout out to Ray. Ray's got a good channel, so if anyone likes the stories about Cliff and Jimmy Tippett and all the fighters and Lenny, go over to Ray's channel. So yeah, Cliff used to work for Eddie Richardson, didn't he, as well?
Yeah. Yeah. He worked in their scrapyard for a while, and used to do their door on their club, J Arthur. Called J Arthur, I think, their club, and Cliff used to work there on the door for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Eddie Richardson. Yeah.
I imagine he would have been a good doorman, because he was very fair, wasn't he, Cliff? He wasn't a troublemaker.
Yeah. No.
But if he needed to, he could deal with it, couldn't he?
He certainly could. Yeah.
Now, obviously, Cliff had a lot of street fights. Well, you were there a few of his street fights,
Yeah,
weren't
I've
you?
seen a few of them. Yeah.
What sort of tactics would he use in a street fight?
I just steam in. Just nothing bothered him. You know, anything goes. All in. Even a gang against him. Yeah. Well, he took a load of travellers on one night, and he was knocking them all out. And there was chairs and glasses going everywhere, and there was a glass on the floor. One of the travellers kicked it at him, and it hit him in the eye, and he lost an eye over it.
Yeah, the glass shard stuck in his eye, didn't it?
Yeah.
But it was kicked. It wasn't what a lot of people think. He
No.
never got stabbed. It was kicked off the
It
floor.
was kicked at him, and it accidentally hit him in the eye. Yeah.
And that sadly, yeah, he lost the sight of his
Yeah.
eye. And do you think that contributed to him drinking a lot more? And
Yes. Yeah. Of course he did. Yeah.
And sadly, yeah, he declined, and
He couldn't do his unlicensed anymore after that.
yeah, which is a real shame. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've got a few questions from some of the subscribers with questions about Cliff. So David McKay, how you doing, David? We used to speak quite a lot and used to talk to Red as well. So David asked if Len and Cliff ever had it on the cobbles, and do you know any good fighters from Merseyside? So did they ever? I got told that Lenny hit Cliff on the head with a piece of wood once, but Kenny Mack said that happened in the gym down in London.
Yeah.
But did they ever have it on the cobbles?
No, I don't think so. No.
No, because they were friends, weren't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they were friends. Cheers, David. Nice one, mate. Rob Carr asks if you think Cliff would have beaten Lenny bare knuckle.
Yeah, of course he would. Yeah.
You do think he would have?
Yeah. Easy. Yeah.
Question from Gutter Snipe. Be interesting to hear who you think would have beaten Cliff in his prime.
When he first turned professional,
Yeah, well, I suppose he did get beat as a pro, didn't he, by the top fighters?
he only got beat on cut eyes.
It was cuts, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did Billy Ed beat Cliff, I think, didn't
Billy had he beat Cliff twice, but they cut his eye twice. Richard Dunn cut his eye.
Yeah.
And Brian Jerk cut his eye.
he? Yeah.
But he was never knocked out. Or
Yeah.
cut.
He never got wobbled or anything, did he?
Joe Bugner might have beat him.
Yeah.
He had a good sparring session with Joe Bugner.
Talking about the sparring, he sparred George Chavallo, Muhammad Ali, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He sparred
Been in with some big
Yeah.
name boxers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another question from World Cup Willie. In the unlicensed documentary, I think it's Box On, there's a scene with Cliff in the scrapyard hitting the car with a sledgehammer. Was that set up for the sledgehammer to break?
No, it wasn't. No, no. He caught the window frame with it.
Yeah, that was it, wasn't it? He snapped the handle. Yeah, so that was genuine, yeah. And Cliff used to work there, didn't he?
We all worked there. Cliff, myself, his brother Roger, we all worked for his uncle Vic, yeah, on and off, yeah, doing a bit of the scrap, yeah.
Yeah.
It was good hard work, but a bit of beer money. So.
Yeah. There's another question there. So, question from Andrew Pope. It would be great to hear what he was like as a fighter and as a friend, and how did he get onto the road that pushed him to fight? So what was he like as a fighter and as a friend?
Yeah, he was all right, yeah. We got on okay. We shared the ring together, and
yeah,
we also shared some women at one time or other.
And a lot of drink as well.
Yeah, we had the drink, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And he wasn't a bully, was he?
He never had a drink while he was in training. Always after the fight.
Yeah.
He'd be off the drink for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Train for 6 weeks, and then he'd have a drink after the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played hard, yeah. Worked hard and played hard, yeah.
Question from Martin Barr. Who was the best fighter inside the ring and outside the ring you've ever seen? So, the best fighter you've been witness to? It could be anybody, professional, unlicensed.
What, in the world?
Yeah, that you've seen close up.
Oh, what I've seen close up? Oh, been so many, isn't there?
Yeah.
But I don't really follow it now.
No.
Not like I used to, but...
What about in the pro gyms back then, in the unlicensed gyms?
The unlicensed gyms? Yeah, well, Cliff must have been there.
Cliff, one of them, yeah, so it would have been Cliff.
In the unlicensed, yeah.
Yeah, Roy Shaw as well, see Roy?
Roy was a good fighter, yeah.
Yeah.
He was only a blown up middleweight really, but
yeah.
he was a hard man, yeah.
To fight all the big heavyweights at Roy's size, yeah.
Roy said Cliff would beat him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I remember Roy saying, yeah, Cliff was way too big and too powerful. He wouldn't have fought Cliff, Roy said.
No.
Yeah, well, thanks Bill, really appreciate your time, and it's really good to see you again, mate.
Lovely.
And yeah, all the best.
Thank you.